following is a Night Owl presentation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Smith. Welcome to another edition of the Closing Tag site build right here on Twitch, the Galactic Blue channel. And of course, if you don't know, I am the host of the Closing Tag podcast, as well as the president, CEO, co-founder, and lead developer for Galactic Blue. So when we last left off a couple weeks ago, I know it's been a while, I'm sorry, just dealing with some personal issues and, taking some time away and, kind of recollecting myself. We left off on the home page doing what's called a carousel. Now, if you don't know what a carousel is, it's basically a rotating set of elements that allows you to see. It's basically a slideshow for a website. If you've ever seen a slideshow on a website, that's what a carousel is. So we last left off with that. I did, and I'm sorry, I made a few changes on the homepage, quote unquote, for the Closing Tag site, and we're going to look at those right now, assuming that my computer will cooperate. 1 second. Here we go. So, as you can see, and yes, we'll get to that later too. As you can see, we made a few changes. Now the changes are not entirely cosmetic. There are some technical aspects to it. So we'll go ahead and pull up the code now. And again, this issue. Here we go. So now, as you can see, we do have some links now attached to those hyperlinks that we put at the bottom of the page last time. So we have the Facebook page link linking up to the Facebook page for the Closing Tag. We have the YouTube page link linking up to our YouTube channel. By the way, go check that out. Our Discord. So the Discord channel link is right there. I may have to change that. I don't know 100% sure if they're going to keep it the same. Just a warning. And then the podcast provider link is right here. Now you'll notice in the terminal, there's a little bit of an error here. And I wanted to leave this as is. I wanted you guys to see this because it used to be back in the day, back in the early days of HTML4 and JavaScript, that you could put a target underscore blank. And I'll tell you why I put target underscore blank here in just a minute. It used to be that you could put target underscore blank without a no refer. Unfortunately, that's become a bit of a security risk. So now JavaScript and HTML are insisting that you put a rel equals no refer as kind of a security patch of sorts. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and put that in our anchor tags right now. No refer. All right. And that gets rid of that. And we'll worry about that later. So let's switch back to the screen here. So the reason I put a target underscore blank is you want to keep as a very strict SEO and web development type of rule, you want to keep the customer on the page. You want to keep the page as is. And what a target underscore blank does is it allows the end user to navigate to where you want them to go in a new tab without having them leave the page that they're on. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that right now by visiting the Facebook page. And as you can see, it pulls up the Facebook page for the closing tag website without the need to leave the page. And then they can just close the tab if they don't feel like signing up for Facebook or whatever. And then basically go to the YouTube page. Yep, everything works perfect. Scope out the pod on the favorite provider. There we are right there. Beautiful. All right. So now let's address this. Yeah, so I was going to save this announcement for the podcast, for the next episode of the podcast, but since the cat's out of the bag, anyway, we will be doing another episode of the podcast probably this week. And then this weekend, we're going to be filming an interview. And I'm very, very excited for this. I've been hyping this guy's movie now for the last 2-3 months on the podcast. So it stands to reason to have him interviewed and talk about The Telltale Heart. Mr. McLean Lindquist. I've been getting his name wrong, by the way. So McLean Lindquist, he's going to be joining the podcast this weekend. The episode won't drop until August 16th. But he will be interviewing this weekend. We'll be filming the interview this weekend. And yeah, that is the big announcement that I was going to save for the next episode of the pod. So, surprise! Anyway, back to it. So now that we've pretty much got the home page, at least the technical aspect of the home page, somewhat under control, we want to go ahead and add a footer. Now I'll show you how to do that right now. So in our app.js file, as you can see, we've got our top nav. Oh yeah, we got to take care of that too. So let's go to top nav. And why this is happening is, as a rule of thumb, every image on a website should have what's called an alt tag. What an alt tag is, it allows people that are, visually handicapped to be able to know what the image is. So you could have an image of, say, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head here, LeBron James. And you could have the alt tag say LeBron James LA Lakers or something like that. And it'll tell not only the blind person or visually handicapped person that, hey, this is an image of LeBron James with the LA Lakers, but it also tells the search engines that this is an image of LeBron James with the LA Lakers. So that comes into play because it helps increase your SEO score with Google. And the more that you can increase your score with Google, your SEO score with Google, the better. Because then you're organically growing your search results within not just Google, but also Bing, Ask.com, so on and so forth. Does anybody use Yahoo anymore, by the way? I don't think I've heard of anybody using Yahoo for like 3 years. Just throwing that out there. So we're going to go ahead and fix that now. So since this is the logo, we're going to go ahead and give it the alt tag of the closing tag logo. And now we are good to go right here. Beautiful. As you can see, it didn't really do anything to the logo. It didn't really change the size or make it smaller or bigger, or make it less accessible for those that actually can see it. It's just more accessible now for those that can't. Sound good? Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and work on our footer. The way we're going to do that is we're going to go back to the app.js file. Inside this container right here at the very bottom, we're going to add another row and another column. And this time we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to copy, sorry. I'm going to copy paste the top nav, but instead of naming it top nav, we're going to name it footer. Just keeping it simple. Keep the naming convention simple. That's what you want to do as a web developer. You want to keep it simple and concise, but also know, hey, this is a footer that you're editing, not the header or some random part of the page. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold that thought 1 second. I'm doing some off-screen searching here on something. Give me 1 second. Okay. So okay. No, that's not what I wanted. What the heck? No, that's not it. All right. Fixed bottom. Here we go. Got it. All right. So we're going to keep everything the same, except we don't really need the logo at this point. So we're just going to remove it. Just going to remove this right here. And instead of sticky top, we're going to go ahead and give it a fixed equals bottom. We'll wait for that to go away. There we go. All right, so because we don't really want too dark elements on the same page, we're going to go ahead and give it a light variant and a light background. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to remove the class name in the nav. Oh, and just as my own personal preference, I mean, you guys can do what you want with this. With me personally, I like my footers centered, the text of the footer centered. So we're going to go ahead and give it a class name of text center. So H5, we'll go with an H5. Also give that a class name of text center. Now, if you don't know how to do a copyright that auto updates, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So we're going to go ahead and copyright. Hold that thought 1 second. I'm going to switch over to the BRB sign for like 2 seconds. Don't panic. I'm still here, no worries. I'm just researching. It's not that I don't know how to do this, it's that I forgot. Key difference. All right. Got it. Awesome. All right. So now we'll switch it back over here. So copy new date, get full year. I think that's how it goes. Oh, nope, hold on. Almost forgot one tiny detail. There we go. Now we're good. And closing tag, all rights reserved. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this nav, at least for the moment. We'll bring it back here in like 2 seconds, okay? Cool. So we're going to save that. Now, in the app.js file, we're going to import footer from components footer. And that's basically bringing that file in. So now we're just going to go ahead and put it right here. Wait for that to go away. Do, 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 do. There we go. Save it. And we've got a problem. The only valid meta property for new is new.target. Give me 1 second. Oh, I see. It's new space date. Got it. My bad. All right, so that's saved. It's yelling at me because I brought in nav, but I'm not using it. We'll worry about that later. So go ahead and switch it over to not that. Now this is not centered. Curious. Let's go ahead and find out why. We're going to inspect element. So we're going to go ahead and let's see. Instead of text center on the nav, let's go MX auto. No? Nothing? All right. MY auto then. Still nothing. Let's see here. What am I doing wrong? Well, it's given me a little bit of a hint right here with this purple stripe thing as I'm hovering over this. So basically what it's doing is it's giving me the margin auto, but it's not centering it, if you catch my drift. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of research real quick. The best thing to know about web developers is that we do a lot of Googling. So, okay. So this might be of interest. DisplayFlex Justified Content Center. So let's switch back to code. Let's try implementing it. DisplayFlex Justify Content Center. Save it. Okay. Let's switch it back over to sorry, the screen here, and voila, look at that. It's all centered and nice. Yay! All right, so now let's go ahead and close that. Now let's add the footer links. So before we add too many of the footer links, let's kind of revisit what it is that, or what all pages we're going to want in the footer, like as far as links are concerned. So let's bring back the nav. I'm just going to switch back and forth between this and top nav. Okay, so nav link. Hold that thought for 2 seconds. Thank you. All right, so first nav link we're going to want the home page. Nav link. Next, we're going to want a link for the about. And I know some of this is repetitive and there's a lot of like elements that are going to have multiple points of contact. That's perfectly fine. You don't want customers getting lost. Nav link contact. And a very important one, nav link privacy. And the reason why privacy is very important is there are a number of laws, like legal laws, throughout the world, as well as even in California, where if you don't have a privacy policy, set up on your website, you could get in a lot of trouble and possibly even sued. So you want to have a privacy policy on your website somewhere that basically tells customers, hey, we're not going to sell your information. We're not going to ask for your password or anything like that. We're just basically collecting information that is not going to be seen by anybody else unless you want it to. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Now, it's a little bit of a, and I'll show you why. Notice something wrong here. Yeah, that. So let's fix that. First thing, we want it on its own line underneath the copyright. So let's switch it back to code. We're just going to give it a nice little line break. That's all we want. It's just a nice little line break, and that didn't work. Okay. I think I might know what's going on. Hold that thought. Let's move you up 1 right here. Wait, no, hold on. We're going to want it moved up another one right here. Okay. So now, row, column. Let's highlight all of this and move it up. Perfect. Clean it up a little bit, save it. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I don't have those saved. There we go. So it did it. It did sort of what I wanted it to do, but not really. Let's remove this for a second. Save. Okay. How do we go about this? I think let's go ahead and remove it from here and send it down here. We're also going to give it a class name of call12 because we want 12 across regardless of screen size. And go ahead and copy paste that right there. Perfect, except I just need to make a couple quick adjustments. Perfect, save. Well, that just broke things entirely. Okay, so let's save that. I don't feel like spending the entire stream trying to figure this thing out. Let me just figure something here. Hold on. Okay. Let's do this. Class name equals call12, save. Save that. No, that didn't do anything? Okay. All right, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. So let's try this instead. Instead of having nav links and the nav inside the nav bar, we're going to go ahead and have good old-fashioned normal links. So I'm just undoing these rows and columns. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. So now we're going to go ahead and do this. H5 with a class name of text center. instead of having it all in one line, we're going to have it kind of drawn out a little bit. So ahref equals slash, because that's the home link. Ahref equals slash about for the about link. Ahref equals contact for the contact link. And ahref equals privacy. That's going to obviously be for the privacy link. Move that, save. And we're back to that again. All right. Save it. Come on. Why are you being a pain in the neck? Let me think about this for a second. Let's switch it back over here so you can see what I'm seeing. So inspect. So let's do an element style. Width is 100%. Oof. Let's do the same with this. That's also a no. Okay. So what if instead of give me a few minutes on this. I'm gonna probably bring up some code from a previous thing. Of course. Okay. We're also going to want this. All right. So let's switch this up a little bit. And you'll probably notice this right here. This basically is telling the HTML preprocessor to just put a space in there without, putting a space in the code. So instead of an H5, we're going to just do a simple little paragraph. And then we're just going to remove that for a quick second. We're going to remove this as well entirely. Now we're going to go ahead and give it an align center and a class name of H5. And we're back to square one again. All right. Okay, you can stop yelling at me now. Thank you. All right. Okay. Save. Huh. I'm very flustered right now, to say the least. Okay. So let's do this instead. Instead of a nav bar, we're going to do container fluid class name of BG Lite. And yes, I know that's yelling at me. All right, so row, column, and we're probably going to want to go ahead and, oh, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Almost forgot that small little detail. All right. So we're moving navbar and nav, and we're going to add container, row, and column. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this to one column. Okay, boom, awesome. Now we're going to add the other column right there. Clean it up a little bit and align center and align center. Save it. And let's check it out. Much better. You can see they're centered, but on separate lines. And we also fixed this little issue. You notice how before the words, the links, were lower than these. Now they're all perfectly aligned. It's awesome. I love it. All right. Something else is a little off. There's no padding right here. But we'll worry about that later. Or we'll worry about that now. Alright, so it's pretty simple. We'll just give it a padding top of 1. Perfect. Alright. And then I think we're pretty good as far as that goes. Alright. So now let's actually start bringing in some other elements into this site instead of just working on the home page the entire time. So we're going to want to go ahead and create a new file called privacy.js. You notice how we brought in this boilerplate, right? So we're going to go ahead and copy the boilerplate over here, but instead of contact, it's going to be privacy. I'm a privacy page, if I can type. So now, with that set up, we're going to go ahead and set up the route. Path is going to be privacy. Again, if I can type, that would be fantastic. Component is going to be, why is this thing just, what the hell? No, stop. Thank you. All right, privacy. I notice this is not nearly, oh my gosh. I'm a hot mess today. All right, so you'll notice that that is not marked yellow like these ones are. There's a reason for that. We haven't imported it yet. We're going to import privacy from pages privacy. And save that, and that should work. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, I should probably switch screens first so you can actually see it with me. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Privacy. I'm a privacy page. Yay! But trust and believe, we're not done with that yet. So I'm going to keep it on that screen for like 2 seconds while I whip up the privacy page for this particular site. So give me 1 second. If we can get 2 pages done, I think we're going to be good. And I just reminded myself I need to fix that. Okay. You can't see it, but I'm kicking myself right now because there's something I was supposed to fix and I didn't. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. Do 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 do. All sorts of out of whack today, aren't we? All right. Okay, so it looks like we're good there. Right. Right. So, I do have a confession to make. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. All right, so confession time. We don't have a thing that's called React Strap. That's the thing that I was using before I switched everything over to React Bootstrap. So instead of that, we're going to go ahead and import container, row, and column, at least for now, from React Bootstrap. And then with the list group and list group item, we're going to switch that over. Give me 1 second. List groups. Okay. So list group is also part of React Bootstrap. List group item, however, is not. We're going to go ahead and fix these up real quick. And this is just basic boilerplate template-y type of privacy, which I'll change a couple things here and there very shortly. Everything looks good. Okay, let's save it. Let's make sure everything's working properly, which it is. Beautiful. All right, so everything's centered. Why is everything centered? All right, so let's do this. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Class name is text left, I think. Okay, we're good, good, okay. And switch this up to text center, save it. Okay, so We also need to switch this up. Hold on. Let me pull it back up on here. Okay, so instead of just flush, I want variant equals flush. Save. Okay. Oh, and we're going to want to switch that up too. All right, so, oh, and much like the home page, well, yeah, home page, we're going to want okay, maybe not the home page, maybe contact. No? Let's go PB4. Okay, PB5. Beautiful. Except there's one tiny little thing. So let's do something pretty crazy here. Because we know we got the, let's see, where is it? That's not it. And that's not it. Okay, hold on. So for whatever reason, it's having a bit of an issue here. Let me think for 1 second. PB6. I know in Bootstrap there is no such class as PB6, but I'm going to make one. Let's go margin padding. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Let's see here. So okay. I'm saying something about receiving a true variant for flush, so I don't know what's going on there. Okay, hold on 1 second. Something's not right here. save that. Let's just go with style. Adding bottom. Let's go 80 pixels. Oh, right. Forgot. Camel case in this case. There we go. All right, save it. Perfect. All right, so here's what I was going up against just now. So with the addition of this footer, it was causing a lot of the issues, or a lot of this text here, to hide behind this element because this is a fixed footer. So what I did was I just gave it a little bit of a padding on the bottom to push all the content up. That's literally it. Also, I removed some other boilerplate stuff. So here's the privacy page content. Privacy notice discloses the privacy practices, and we're going to need to change this up here. Since we're not doing Paddywhack GIFs right now, we're doing the closing tag. Our partner websites and any businesses we are associated with, okay, what personally identifiable information is collected, we are the sole owners of the information collected on this site. We only have access that you voluntarily give us via email or other direct contact from you. And I'll point blank say this right now, unless you guys are emailing me telling me I'm doing either an awesome job or an awful job as being a podcast host, I'm not going to be receiving anything, I would imagine, from anyone on this website. So we're good. See what data we have about you, if any. Change correct any data we have about you, Take precautions to protect your information. You will notice that we did have the SSL in place for the closing tag, so anything you enter is automatically encrypted, just so you know. If you feel that we are not abiding by this privacy policy, contact us immediately via email, and we're going to change the email address right now to contact@theclosingtag.com. Budamus. Oh, and make this fluid. Might as well. Alright, so now we have the privacy page done. We have the footer done. We're going to go ahead and take care of the contact page right now. And yes, I am cheating yet again. We might as well. I mean, we're kind of already there. It's fine. So we're going to go ahead and copy paste this lovely little thing right here. No! Did not want to do that. Okay. And it's yelling at me because I don't have a closing tag. Right there. So we're good. All right. So I'll go over this here in just a minute. Let me just copy paste that as well. Okay, save that. Oh, and it's yelling at me. Of course it is. That's okay. No worries. I got this. Luckily, we already have all the stuff that we need, I think. We'll find out in like 2 seconds. Nope. That would be a no. Alright, so it's yelling at me because we don't have SweetAlert installed. So we're going to do that right now. npm install save SweetAlert. I like SweetAlert because it is a very UI friendly type of way to alert someone when something's happening, which you kind of want when you are running a contact page. So we're going to want to change this up to, hold on 1 second, at the closing tag.com. We're going to copy paste that whole thing. And I'm not necessarily worried about spam because I don't receive that much email anyway. Plus, my email server has a somewhat decent spam filter. Just saying. So we're going to go npm run hoot. If you remember, we changed it from run start to run hoot. Okay. That was desperately needed. All right. Give me 1 more second, guys. I'm going to well, we'll worry about that later. We're getting pretty close to being done with this site, guys. Oh, dang. Okay. We forgot to add that. $33.13. I'm not sure what it's yelling at me about for this one. Let me think about this for a minute. Expected an assignment or function call and instead saw an expression. Okay, so it's definitely yelling me for this. You know, let's worry about this later. Okay, save that. Okay, yep, I know. Relax. Okay, so let's switch it back over. For the most part, I think we're pretty much about 2 pages away from being done, guys. So there's the privacy page. There's the contact. It's a little wonky, granted, but we'll clean it up, no worries. Home page is going to need a little bit of work, just in general for design. I'm going to try to get the banners put together this week. I mean, like I said, I'm recording another podcast episode and an interview this week, so yeah, it's gonna get a little busy. But yeah, so we've got, I'd say, 2 or 3 more of these streams left before we can officially go ahead and start getting this site up and running. So we're gonna go ahead and call it there for tonight. And yeah, so I just definitely wanted to thank everybody that is watching these, that's, you know, following along, that's, you know, getting involved, you know, whatever, with the overall site build. And yeah, we're gonna be back here next Monday, same time ish. Could be 6:30 Mountain Standard Time again. It could be a little bit earlier. It could be a little bit later. I don't yet know. It depends on what all is going on that day. So follow me on Twitter at GalacticBlue1 to get more updates as far as that goes. I know I haven't been really good at giving updates on Twitter lately, but we are definitely moving in the right direction here. You can also jump back on here on Twitch at GalacticBlue1. You can also, for more updates, you can go on the Facebook page for either the closing tag or Galactic Blue. Either one of those will be just fine. And with that, I'm going to bid my YouTube audience adieu. My Twitter audience, please stand by for a quick, I'd say minute-long update recap. And so we'll go from there. And until then, next time, guys, just stay safe and remember your closing tags.
On that, our presentation.